Hello dearest listeners, and welcome back to the Witching Hour Frequency, now available by tapping directly into your amygdala and accessing the source of all primitive fears. Please be careful and avoid looking directly into the primordial fear of the dark while you're in there. Trust me, you're better off not knowing what made your ancestors fear the void. Today we have several reports from around our community, ranging from local business inquiries to reports of yet another large beast located near the bridge at the edge of town.
Which bridge? The one with the big moth or the weird bunny guy?
No,
I think he means the one with the ghost that got burned that one time.
No, not that one.
A lot of supernatural men have been hanging out on bridges lately.
I mean, that's
Reminds
true,
me of my fraternity days.
I'm sorry, what? No, I mean the one by the train tracks with the goat cults. Went to one of their meetings once for a friend. Their kebabs were to die for. Anyways, the report says the monster is some sort of demonic half-goat, half-man thing that the locals are calling the Goat Man. Okay, while the reports finish coming in and we think of a better name, let's take a brief moment for infomercials.
Looking for a new job? Have something to sell? Wondering why we don't have an animal control unit to deal with all of our animal-man hybrids? Contact us today by knocking on your mirror 7 times and leave a message with the ghost of our last secretary.
Also, please stop saying that being a taxpayer makes you her boss. Just because we're a public resource doesn't mean she needs to do whatever you want. Especially not haunting your boss, and yes, it's weird that you would ask. She's been dead for 450 years. She doesn't need to deal with your entitlement.
Speaking of odd requests, we have a job opening in town from a group of local ghost hunters. The company calls itself the Phasmophobic Ghost Agency. Okay, so just real quick, They stop by spooky houses at night in a white van and try to help you determine what kind of ghost is haunting you. And if that wasn't weird enough, all you do is walk around with varied equipment, scream a ghost name, and mark a bunch of boxes in a book. They don't even actually exorcise the ghost. You know, like real ghost hunters? Payment is based on commission and varies by your work. Now, as we move on to today's report, we shift from ghosts to goats, as we discuss the beast of Shane's Bridge. Is it a demon, or some strange, cursed wildlife? The Phasmophobic Ghost Agency probably couldn't tell you, but we here at the station will provide all the information to help you, our bright listener, decide for yourself.
Imagine you're walking through the woods at night with your friends, a very popular hobby for youths in town. You are following the old decommissioned railway tracks that run just around the outside of the industrial district when suddenly you see a bridge. You recognize it as Shane's Bridge by the graffiti underneath it. Deciding to prove your bravery to your friends, you ascend the hill to the entrance of the bridge itself. You've heard the rumors and you're not scared of some goat that learned to walk on its back legs. You chuckle at how ridiculous the image of it is in your head. As you pass the threshold of the bridge, you begin to feel very cold, as though a harsh winter breeze had blown in from no particular direction. Your friends are still chuckling down below, completely unaware. Feeling slightly less confident, but still wishing to prove yourself, you continue to cross. Suddenly, you see 2 faint orbs at the other end of the bridge. They appear to be floating about 10 feet above the ground, an opaque red in color. You logically should be terrified, but you're captivated by them. Unbeknownst to you, this is a trap. Not too dissimilar from the anglerfish's lure. You get closer and begin to see a dark outline of a figure around the orbs. No, the eyes of a large beast. It slowly moves its large and muscular figure towards you. Its legs are very goat-like and end in cloven hooves. Its body is very human in stature, with large arms that seem to be dragging something behind it. Its face, however, is by far its most grotesque feature. It's mostly goat-like, with a horrible set of glistening, very white, very human-looking teeth. It lifts the object it was dragging behind it above its head, and suddenly you're collapsed on the floor. Then it goes dark. Your friends never saw what had killed you. All they know is that your corpse was horribly mangled when they came to check on you.
This being is known by many as the Goat Man. It's appeared many times throughout history in different forms and with different abilities.
How surprisingly knowledgeable of you.
I've been around the block a few times in the cryptid community and I know quite a bit. For example, it is now time for a word from our sponsor.
This week we have no sponsor. Corporate didn't want one this week for undisclosed reasons, so instead we will play some royalty-free music for the next 20 seconds. Just like the elevator rides from childhood. I remember being on one for 4 hours while my motherbot was working. Truly a full experience.
So, what else do you have for us today?
Well, for starters, that thing that it was dragging behind itself was an axe, made from the femur bone of a cow and a slab of raw iron that has been sharpened by crudely grinding it against rocks. This weapon is used to accost people and sometimes vehicles.
Vehicles? Sounds like quite the tank of a beast.
Oh yes, the few survivors of this being that have not gone completely mad often describe it in the same way. Its feet are cracked, cloven hooves that lead up to an unguligrade leg, the knee jutting straight backwards, as though it had been broken in by a club. The body is horrifically muscular, being able to see every fiber, every vein, every twitching muscle. From there we move up to its head. At a glance, its head is almost akin to the Minotaur legends if you substitute out the bull for a goat. Upon closer observation, however, you will see that the horns horrifically rip through the scalp and its teeth don't quite fit into the structure of the jaw. There are far too many of them stuffed into it. Despite its large stature, it has been known to drop down on cars from trees and jump the heights of buildings. Its intelligence is questionable, but remember its axe is clearly handcrafted and it's disturbingly skilled at using it. It is also rumored to be a sort of trickster, with some saying that it can shape change or cause visions. Scarier yet is the fact that it's been seen in different locations across vast distances and across long stretches of time. Is it a singular immortal being that has traveled a long way to get here, or a species of nightmare creatures? Either way, dismissing it as an animal is your own funeral, maybe literally.
Well, that is truly chilling and very descriptive. We'll have to consult you more often when dealing with these more, modern horrors. How might we avoid a gruesome fate at the hands of an even more gruesome monster?
Don't go near old train tracks in the middle of the night.
Huh, so you guys are capable of using common sense.
We have many senses, only some of which are common. Well, I do believe that is all the time we have today, listeners. So close up, dim the lights, tuck yourself in, and let yourself slip off into that peaceful, dark oblivion that we colloquially refer to as sleeping. Good night, dear listeners, and may your sleep be filled with strange constructs of your subconscious mind to fill the emptiness.